Hey, welcome back to 3-Day Weekend. It is cold out here today. I think it's 5 degrees right now. I'm freezing. I came out to work on Bounder, but I don't think it's going to happen today. It's too cold. You see I got tires sitting next to it. I've got 2 more on the other side. But no, not today. Today's not a good work on the camper day. But today is a good work on the computer day. And on the computer, I have our route all planned out for this year's cross-country trip. So why don't we go inside and talk about that? Let's go inside. It's cold. It's too cold. May I present to you the route. This is what we're looking at. Boy, that looks like a big route with lots and lots of stops, and that's exactly what it is. Total 7,190 miles as of right now. I've got to tweak a couple things. I've made some campground changes. I am all reserved with the exception of Carl's Bay Caverns. Having trouble getting a hold of them, but otherwise it is reserved and we are ready to go. And I've mapped out every single gas station that we need to stop at because it's a big rig, so I need big gas stations, and I've mapped them all out and taken a look at them. So that's the overall trip right there. 7,000 miles. So quick overview, we're leaving home. All of these are gas stations I need to hit on the way through because that thing is thirsty. These are a rest area. That means we're just stopping a rest area for the night. Then we're hitting the road again. Stopping, I have most of the roadside attractions marked down here. Golden Stripe Rest Area, that one's kind of cool. Look any of these up on Google. You'll see what I'm looking into because they're pretty cool. The Tiny Church Rest Area. Then we stop in another rest area here overnight, and then in the morning we're hitting Mount Rushmore. We'll hit that first thing. Then we're up to the Devil's Tower. A couple more gas stations before we drop into Yellowstone so we can see, Old Faithful and other sites of Yellowstone. I'm going to stop there for there a little bit. There we go. And then we're hitting the Continental Divide, then Thai Hack Monument. Like I said, Google, they'll tell you all about these things. What is N? Natural Fort Rest Area. On our way to Manor RV Park in Colorado. We'll be in the Rocky Mountains. Going to spend a couple days going over all the trails and hiking and everything available right there. Before we head on over to the Great Salt Lake, stopping at the Echo Canyon Welcome Center. That looked really cool. I found that online too. Great Salt Lake, that was my daughter's request. She really wants to swim in the Great Salt Lake. And I'm okay with that because I know that the salt flats are right close to it over here somewhere, I believe. 40 minutes from the Great Salt Lake City, I guess. And I have a Hemi-powered Jeep, and I'd love to see how fast that thing can go. So we're going to find the top speed of that Hemi-powered rectangle on that day, followed by probably 3 car washes to get the salt off of it. Then we're headed out here. There's the Castle Gate Mine Disaster Memorial. What's this one? The Castle Gate. A couple little stops right there. Going to add more. I feel like there's more on this one, Route 6. We'll add some more. And then we're in Moab, Utah. Going to rent a Wrangler for the day and check out all the trails out there. That'll be fun. And then return that, and we'll have our Jeep, and we'll take the easy trails that take you out to some scenery and stuff. My dog's in the background. That's what's going on. So that one's for me because I'd love to take the side-by-sides there someday, but not on this trip. That'll probably be a dedicated trip. And then we're headed down to Vegas. We're going to camp in Vegas at a KOA right downtown. Wouldn't expect to see a KOA down there, but it is there. It's missing the little icon for it, but it's right there. That'll put us in position to see the Hoover Dam. I've always wanted to see the Hoover Dam. It's been on my list for a really long time. Don't really care about Vegas so much. I'm not that kind of person. I'm a country guy. I'm not into the big city, but I'll probably drive the strip and take our picture by the sign just so we've done it, we can say we've done it. Then headed to the Grand Canyon, staying a couple of days there. Going to do all kinds of funtivities at the Grand Canyon. That'll be cool. Going to the southern side of it, not the northern. That'll be neat. Then we got to check out Monument Valley to recreate a Dumb and Dumber scene on that one. Then the Four Corners and Shiprock Volcano. On our way to Oh, the musical road. Almost forgot about that one. The old Route 66 thing. They aren't maintaining it, and I see the signs are gone now, but I guess the road still works. Plays music on your tires as you go through, so I'm hoping that's still going to be there when we go through next year. But that'll be fun. Then another rest area on our way to Carlsbad Caverns. Where's that? Oh, right there. Sorry, missed it. Carlsbad Caverns, staying there, going to do, the caves, the caverns, the amphitheater with the bats coming out at night. That'll be interesting. Then we're headed to Kentucky. Going to stay in another rest area. But headed to Kentucky to see the Ark. Friends of ours went, said it is amazing. I'd love to see that one. I see commercials for it all the time, but that'll be fun. And then we're headed home from there. It's a 3-week trip. It's a lot of miles, 7,190. I'm going to have to do an oil change somewhere in the middle on the RV at a campground. Never had to do that before, but it'll definitely be happening on this trip. And then we've got the elevation. Lots of elevation changes all the way down through here, which I'm a little nervous about. It's a lot of weight on that engine, hauling it uphill and everything, but it's not so much the elevation, it's the gradient, the percent rise. And there's some pretty thick red stuff in here. I mean, this entire graph is showing just over 7,000 miles, so even a little thin red is a pretty steep incline that could last for tens of miles. So I'm worried about the thick ones, but slow and steady. I'm just taking it slow and steady. If it starts to get warm, I'll let it cool down. I think I've showed you the additional display I put in there that'll monitor the temperature, let me know if it's starting to get warm before it gets hot, so I can take it easy and make adjustments. We might just have to stop, let it rest for a minute and cool down. We'll see. So that's the gradient. So that is the trip in a nutshell. And we are just 169 days away from it right now. Boy, I'm starting to get nervous because there's a lot of work left to do. But I'm still adding sites. If you think of any roadside attractions that we should add on here that I didn't mention, be sure to hit me up in the comments. I'm really interested. I'd love to add it on. I'm willing to go a little bit out of the way, but I'm not going to drive 2 hours out of the way to see the world's largest ball of mud. Another movie reference right there. But if it's close, I'm definitely interested in seeing it. But it should be good. Should be good. It's a long trip, and that's why I'm putting new brakes on the machine. That's why I got new tires waiting to go on it. It stinks we're in the middle of winter. I can't work on it, but that time is coming, so we're getting there. Let me show you my spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet for vacation, just so that if there was any doubt on if I was 100% nerd or not, this is going to set the record straight. Spreadsheet for vacation. I've got it all mapped out here. Every day that we're driving, what day number, how far we're driving that day, how long it's going to take to get there, roughly, subject to change. This is not constant driving time. That's driving time with breaks factored in there, gas stations, roadside attractions. Some roadside you might want to spend a little more time than others on there. So don't be intimidated by 13 hours and 17 minutes, even though I definitely am. And then where we're staying that night. So a few rest areas right out of the gate, and then all the campgrounds, a couple more rest areas. Carlsbad RV Park, I just can't quite seem to connect with them. I'm going to get a reservation. I just can't quite seem to get it. So based on this one, it's 7,197 miles. This is based on Google Maps. The other one is the RV Life Maps. So they're going to be a little bit different, but I think a difference is 7 miles. So there might be one road I got to go different on. We'll find out. And then I was calculating fuel costs. This is back when I was going to take my truck, which I'm not doing anymore. Now I'm going to take Bounder, and I'm not sure what kind of fuel mileage I'm going to get. The best I've ever seen out of it is 7.6. The worst I've ever seen fully loaded is 5 point something. So we're going to go counting on 5 miles to the gallon, which is calculated in there. That's just fuel cost, $4,922.75, plus any camping fees and whatnot. That's my total cost. That's not totally done yet. I've got some more campgrounds that I've paid deposits and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely a nerd on here. And then every day you can click on it and it will show you exactly where I'm going and what I'm stopping at minus some roadside attractions. I haven't added those on. And this is during the research option. I've got a couple different campgrounds listed, because at first we were just going to drop by, not make any reservations, just kind of drop in. But I've made reservations. We're going the reservation route. And then I looked at the details of each one and kind of found the best one, best price, best scenery, whatever, and made that decision. So every day is in here, mapped it all out. And then, oh, what I need to do with the tanks. Do they need to be full, empty? Because obviously if they can be empty, I like them to be empty to save on weight. But if I need to fill them, it'll tell me before you go, you have to fill those tanks. So that is the overall spreadsheet. And if you change one thing on any other sheet, it updates on the main summary page right here. But yeah, it's there's a lot of planning that goes into a cross-country trip. There really, really is. Or maybe I'm just making it too difficult. I wish I could just show up and you're guaranteed a site, but you're never guaranteed a site. And I don't want to drive 12 hours and then we can't get into a site, and then where are we going to leave the camper? And oh, it's just a hassle. So to remove all doubt, I have a vacation spreadsheet. I am a grade A nerd, but worth it. I think this is going to work out. So that one's a little bit different than my normal videos. It's a little dry because I'm just going over spreadsheets and stuff. But the planning for a cross-country trip is huge. There's so much to figure out, where you're going to be and how long it's going to take to get there. I just want to show you what thought goes into just going cross-country on a scheduled 3-week trip. It would be different if we were retired and whatever, and we could just drive, and if there's a site, there's a site. If not, then we'll go somewhere else. But 3 weeks, we got things to see, things to do. So this is the kind of planning you got to put into it. But now you can see why I'm so worried about the machine out there in the barn with freezing weather. I got to get working on it. We're at 169, 67 days until the trip. I got to put new tires on it, new brakes. There's a lot of work yet to be done, so I got to get back at it. As soon as that weather breaks, I'll be out in that barn working on that machine. So in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every viewer, every subscriber. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, especially if you're interested in our cross-country trip. I'll be recording that, all the steps up to and including leaving on that trip and what we're going to see while we're out there. And hopefully no breakdowns while we're out there. But thanks again for watching. I hope to see you again for another video right here on 3 Day Weekend.